Hey guys, today we're going to be doing procedural snowflakes, but it's not really that. It's just to learn how to use for each element in geometry nodes. I have never used it before, and so I wanted to make sure I kind of understood how it worked. One thing I've been kind of thinking about more and more was how to essentially make random parameters go across for each kind of instance or point when you're kind of using geometry nodes. I've been thinking about making kind of systems to make like a procedural cityscape, different things like that. So essentially what I needed to do was to map random numbers or random ranges onto individual points, then use those points to drive animation or instancing in the future. It's really straightforward, so I will make sure to get that part done for you guys really quick. And the rest of the video will be me essentially making it like a little like snowflake shape using curves and curve instances and different curve parameters. So we're gonna keep the cube, new system, obviously. And then we're gonna do mesh to volume, points in volume. Nice. Now we have this little collection of points, right? And so what we want to do is we're going to make sure we map those points with some random numbers. So in the very beginning, let's do some store named attributes, okay? We're gonna be using a lot of this spreadsheet today, so make sure to get comfortable with it. So we see the points and the values right here. So let's call this random value point. And we're just gonna do random value. This is very straightforward. Now we're seeing a number going from 0 to 1. Let's increase this density a little bit. So now we're seeing this nice distribution of random numbers. We can change the seed. Very cool. And then to make this go into, let's say 1, 2, 3, because at the end of the day, what I want to do is take a curved circle. And what I want to do is change the resolution dynamically with the random value. So we need it to be a whole number. So what we can then do is do store named attribute. Let's say rand val int. So with the same things, let's say named attribute. And again, you could nest this all in the same thing, but I want to make sure we get comfortable with the spreadsheets today. So we see it right here. We're going to do a math node. We're going to multiply it by how much we want it to go to. So we know for, let's say curved circle again, my bad. We know the minimum is 3, and this is going from 1 or 0 to 1, right? So if we multiply by 3, we're then going to see this 2 to whatever. And so we're going to do a, what's it called? Floor node here. And if we floor this, it's going to just drop all those numbers and make it an integer. So we floor it. Now it's going from 0, 1, 2. Originally, it's between 0 and 1. So let's just kind of look at this. So that's this right here, right? And the same value is then being multiplied by 6. We're flooring it, so that's going to go from here to here. Then we're adding 3. So by doing this system right here, what we're doing is we're taking the same random value. We're choosing the range we want it to go from. So basically, before it's from 0 to 1, so times 6, it's just going from 0 to 6, right? And then we're flooring it, so it will make sure it'll break off on whole integers. And then we're adding 3 to offset that. So we want it to actually go from 3 to 9. And that'll be our entire range of points. But actually, we're not going to get 9, so it's going to be, I guess, 3 to 8. Nice. So now we have that locked in and saved. Now the next part is we're going to be doing the for each element. So for each element, pipe in the geometry here, pipe in this output. So this is the untouched geometry. This is the modified geometry. It's important to remember that. And then we're going to take this, make sure this is an integer. We're going to grab a named attribute. We're going to grab this, paste this. We're going to put this in here. And here's the beautiful thing. We're seeing it go from a diamond to a circle. And that's what we need. So remember, we have the curved circle right here. So now on this, we're going to do instance on points. So we have this right here. We're going to pull this element. So all of that there into here. And then we see nothing. But what are we going to instance? We're going to instance a curved circle, just a bunch of triangles. And what's nice is since we just did all of this math with the attribute, we can take this and pop it right here. And now we're getting a random distribution of different curved circles with different amounts of points or different amounts of resolution. So now we have this dynamically done. This is the main kind of thing to think about, is we're turning this diamond into a circle. Now we have this, and now we're going to be doing the snowflake effect. So to do the snowflake effect, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take those same endpoints. So like here, here, here. We're going to pull those endpoints and then instance some stuff on it. So we're going to also first decrease this a little bit. Say 0.1. We have these small little shapes. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to instance on points. And then we're going to do curve line. Whoops. Just right here. Join geometry to make sure we can see it cleanly. So what we're seeing is exactly what I want to see. We're seeing these little points with their curved lines. Perfect. Now we got to make these curved lines look like more of like a snowflake type effect. So before we pull this in, we need to just kind of do some kind of magic on it to make sure it makes sense. But let's first kind of pull these out to be branches. So we're going to do align rotation to vector. We're going to do is this working out for us? It is. Capture attribute. We're going to do a normal. We're going to grab this, pop this in, pop this in. Nice. There we are. So now we have these points, or these curved lines. We need to pull this down. As this is coming in, which is this curved line, we're going to want to make sure we change it before it gets instanced in. So this curved line is going to be resampled. I guess we probably look at this independently. This is coming in, and then we're going to do instance on points. And now the 10 points with the resample. Let's instance the same curved line on it. And let's scale it by spline parameter. We can do this for now. It's fine. And then we'll say same thing right here. We're going to rotate this down to pull those lines out. And then this is going to go here, here, and then this is going to go here, here. Perfect. Put this up a tiny bit so you can see a bit cleaner. So we're pulling in this and moving it out along the path. And this, I guess, kind of can look like a bit of what a snowflake could look like with the kind of branching fractal shape. Then we want to also move this up, moving it up along the path. So we're going to do that by doing a vector math. Then we're going to want to pull this up like this. So to do that, we're going to do vector math here and find the right vector, which I think is just the y. And this is in radians. We can do pi divided by 3, whoops, minus pi divided by 3. That's too much. Divided by 2. That looks okay. And if in the comments you want to write the exact angles for what that is, feel free. So, and then we're going to want to join this in as well. So here to here. Now we have that. And then what we're going to want to do is instance this along the snowflake, which we're getting to. But I feel like it's curving in a way I don't really want. It's kind of nice. Kind of more of an abstract shape. I guess we could, let me just kind of play around with these to see what's going to work. I think if we do this here, let's lower the density just to make it a bit easier to see. So there's that. On X, it's pulling it out. It's coming down. If we add a vector here, let's see what happens. We move this. Nope. What about, oh, there we go. Perfect. This will flatten it out. Yeah, that's looking like how I want it, I think. That's nice. Let's say pi divided by 2. That should be 90 degrees in radians. And it's kind of spiraling out. I think it looks nice. Then we can increase this guy out like that. We can actually double this to 20. And then what we can then do is rotate here as well. And then we're going to zero this out. And we're going to do an integer node. And we're going to do every other. That way we can get these to kind of rotate swapping like that. So doing this, we're going to do a math. We're going to do a floored module or truncated. It's all the same. It doesn't actually matter. And it's going to be an index node, my bad, not integer. That's going to be popping in here. That's going to go in the selection. And we're going to move it on this guy. Is it this one we want? I don't think so. Maybe it's the X. Yes, right? Yes. Let's try 90. And it's 980, 90, 180. Okay. That works. Nice. I'm liking it. It's looking kind of snowflakey now. Let's just see. What is this guy? What should this be to be perfect? I don't know off the top of my head. Let me with this. So this is, let's say 45, minus 45. Let's say positive 45. How's that looking? No. 90? Nice. I think this looks correct. So I guess it's double 45 because this is 90 degrees different, or it's 100 and I'm not sure exactly what the math is for these two. But this is looking pretty close. Pretty happy with it. And if we increase the density back to like 2, can't see anything. We go back to, I think, the point distribution here, right? And we just say set position. We add some noise. Noise texture. Let's just go in the offset. Vector math. I'm adding some noise just to make sure I can see them by themselves. Set to minus 0.5. And scale this out. There we go. Now I can see a bit cleaner. Cool. So we're seeing this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. It's dynamic. That's what I wanted to see. We're kind of getting unique snowflakes, which is pretty cool. And then don't need that. So let's scale this to some math right here. And then let's just say multiply 8.1. Nope. Too small. Nice. I'm liking that. So essentially this is the effect. It's done. And then if you remesh this at the very end, curve to mesh, curve circle. And we can go here, fill caps, 0.1, set curve radius, spline parameter. Let's just see if this works. Looks like it does. Float curve. Swap this out. Classic. Ah, okay. This is way better now. What if this works? Okay, they're a little bit blobby, but I think it's fine. So let me just go over this really quick to make sure you can see what I added. Basically, all I did is went back to the for each element with these points. I added an icosphere just to make sure there's a little, like the middle part's filled in. For the join geometry here, I forgot to resample it again. That way we're able to have kind of like more resolution to make these float curves make more sense. So for the set curve radius. Yeah, I think it's good enough. I'm happy with it. It's a bit more spacey themed, I think. A bit more like kind of alien snowflakes, but it works. It's procedural. You can go back to here. You can increase the density like that, which maybe is too much. Say 4, increase the scale to offset everything. And then you have different sets of snowflakes. And if we were to change this to 2, we're only going to have 3 and 2. Change it to 10. We're gonna have a whole bunch of options. This is basically it. I hope you guys liked it. And here's the full, here's the full node tree. Let's go through it slowly, I guess, so you guys can see everything. So first we take mesh to volume, then volume to points, essentially right here, capturing some stuff to make sure we can have random values being sent through. Then what we're doing is we're, I guess, moving the points around to make it have a bit more noise for us to see later on. We're pulling in that value. It's going from a diamond to a circle, so we can use it as the curve circle random resolution, which is pretty cool. Then from there, we're making the snowflake essentially instancing a curved line a bunch of times. We're kind of moving it around with some different align rotation to vectors. And then we're forcing it down with this one right here. Before we do the rotation, we're adding in the kind of another little vector here. We use the modulo truncation with the index in order to get just the even indices to move with that selection. And then from there, we put it all into some joins to kind of get it all together. We change the curve radius and we remesh it into a mesh, so it looks like it's actually kind of like fluffy. And we join it all together and we shade it smooth. If this has provided any value for you, please leave a comment below. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.
Augury.